Hey, Alt Fam, and welcome back to another episode of Who's the Baby, a podcast where me and my emotional support mom talk about everything inner child. Today, we are going to dig deep and dive into the differences between therapy and coaching. There are a lot of similarities, and these two modalities can work in conjunction, but there are some differences that I would love to talk about with you today. I want to just reintroduce myself. I am Ileana, a family dynamics coach. I have been certified through the Jay Shetty School of Certification. But my certification isn't life coaching. I just want to preface this episode by saying I am not a therapist. I am a coach, a family dynamics coach. So, first and foremost, the biggest difference between a therapist and a coach are the credentials. Therapists have an advanced degree. They are licensed to be a therapist. When I think of therapy, the very first thing I think about is them being the subject matter expert on whatever topic that they have specialized in. So in my realm, being a family dynamics coach, a therapist, a family therapist, a parenting therapist, or even a child psychologist is someone who has done extensive coursework and is basically the expert in that field. The difference with coaching is that anyone can claim to be a life coach. There is no certifying body that says that you have to be certified or have to hold certain credentials at this time. That may change as coaches are becoming more and more prevalent throughout the industry, throughout all facets of life. There's a coach for just about everything out there these days. Number 2 is the topics. Therapy will focus on mental health, focus on gaining awareness or getting yourself to a more mentally healthy, stable, whatever that means for you, whatever word you choose, place. Whereas in coaching, coaches are typically more goal oriented. You are able to voice the goal or the intention, and the coach sort of helps you attain that very finite goal. The third thing is the tense. So in therapy, not always. I'm going to say none of these are always, except for the credentials. Typically, therapy is more reflection based. It's a little bit more focused on the past and the present, a little bit more focused on what has gotten you here, what has led you to certain things in your life. I will say, in coaching, there's a lot of that too. That is something where those can be very similar. However, we do tend to focus more on the future because there is a goal, there is this finite thing that we are trying to attain. It is a little bit more future thinking in our thought process. However, in order to get to the future, a lot of times in coaching, you do have to revisit the past. You do have to at least have the awareness of your old patterns, behaviors, habits, things like that. Remove the blockages, and that will allow you to move forward in your future. Very similar process with therapy as well, just slightly different on where we start, I guess. The fourth is the duration. In coaching, there is a very, like I said, finite time frame. So either you are focused on a 3-month, a 6-month, 9-month, a year goal, and part of attaining that goal is reaching it at an X amount of time. Therapy is open-ended. You may have only a few sessions to get where you need to be. You may be there forevermore. I personally, my own experience, have subscribed to the theory that everyone should have a therapist. And that really doesn't necessarily mean that we all have, mental health issues, not necessarily, but I just find therapy to be very valuable in its own right and can serve as a wonderful, helpful third-party resource for anyone. Question I say that I get asked the most is about insurance. This one's a bit tricky. Some therapists do accept insurance or work with insurance companies. Some therapists choose not to, and it's really up to them, being their own practitioner, if they want to or choose to. I, in my experience, have not come across any coaches that are able to offer insurance as a payment option. You typically are offered a program or offered in a certain amount of sessions, whatever that may be, and that comes in a package versus per session. That's just a little bit slightly different. The next thing is fit. These ones are very aligned, very similar again. Therapy, you obviously want to have someone that you connect with, that you feel like is the right fit, you feel like understands you feel like you can be honest and represent yourself appropriately, and you kind of vibe and connect with. Very similar with coaching. You obviously want to be able to be honest with this person, want to be able to open up to them, and just feel like you generally fit the same vibe. With this, I feel like in certain instances, especially if you are going the route of going insurance, this can be a little bit more restricting on the therapy front, only in that there are certain in-network providers. There might only be therapists that operate during a certain time of day or certain schedules, their specialty. For example, in your area, you might only have 3 marriage therapists. That's just how many there are in your particular area or that are accepting that insurance. It does limit you a little bit in that regard. Whereas coaches, I feel like there is a coach for everyone out there. There are so many coaches on so many different topics nowadays. It's definitely something that I feel like anyone can find the right fit, and it doesn't have to be in your area or in your location. There are, the web has opened up lots of new ways to do coaching. Those are the 6 sort of questions I get asked quite a bit about the differences in either modality. I will say that in coaching, we are bound by confidentiality. We are also duty bound. What that means is if we find one of our clients is unsafe or a threat to themselves or anyone else, we are duty bound to report it to the authorities or the powers that be in order for them to get the help that they need. So whether that be emergency services, whether that be therapists, sometimes we are recommending them to therapists or vice versa. We operate under the same constructs in terms of confidentiality and in terms of duty. I do think coaching provides a little bit more flexibility. I've done like walking appointments. I've also been into my clients' homes. A little bit more flexibility in that. I do know coaches in my time zone that are operating at all hours of the day or night. I mean, sometimes people around the globe, they have clients overseas or in other countries that are 13, 14 hours away, and you have to have a session at 4 in the morning or midnight. Not to say that therapists won't do that or don't offer that. I just find with coaching, your schedule is just a little bit more flexible in that regard. What we offer is our ability to genuinely connect with you. Therapy, like I said, you are there for their expertise, you are there for their advice, you are there to learn as much as you can from them and receive what they have to offer you. In coaching, you, being the client, are the driver. You are driving your progress. You are taking accountability for your choices, for your actions. You are deciding if and when to take action at all. The coach is there to sit in that journey with you, to sometimes, I like to say, sit in the suck. We're there to be with you, to feel through all the feels and get you through to the other side. I also feel in coaching, we are the mirror for you. Sometimes we are able to be that third party, non-judgmental person to say, hey, this is what you told me you wanted. This is this accountability, mirror it. You said this, and now I kind of feel like this doesn't quite align with what you said or what you told me before. I just want to check and make sure that this is what you want. This is what you said you want, or just make sure that I'm hearing it correctly. That this is where you're at, and this is what we're doing now. And with coaching, your sort of contracted outcome may change along the way. So you may go into coaching thinking, I want to find the love of my life and I want to focus on romance. When realistically, it might turn out in the course of your sessions with your coach that that's not really what you're seeking. What you're seeking is outside validation, and that's a different topic entirely than finding romance. So maybe your goals might change and you can reevaluate and recontract anytime within dealing with your coach. And most coaches are open and up for that, which is pretty awesome. I hope this helps kind of clarify a few things from me and my emotional support mug. Thank you again so much for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them. If you have any topic ideas, please feel free to drop them. Hit the follow and subscribe button. I don't know if that exists on Spotify. Give me a rating. That would be awesome. And thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.